What's up, everybody? This is Joe, aka the Dentist, and I'm bringing you my first ever HDPVR captured game. This is a team scrim from a couple days ago. This is I don't know if this is a real team we're scrimming against, but they came from, I'm pretty sure they came from the GB forums, I'm not really sure. But anyway, they were all on the West Coast, and this is kind of what I wanted to talk about. I actually hosted these scrims, and that was a terrible grenade. I got bumped right there. But I actually hosted these scrims, and you know, the first few games I really had a tough time killing people, and it was pretty difficult getting kills, and it was kind of frustrating because I kept getting a lot of hit markers, and it was frustrating. I mean, completely frustrating. So this game I changed it up. You know, I kind of played a little bit more slow, a little bit less aggressive. And I want to talk about this right here real quick. This is actually a mistake, excuse me, on my part. Right here, they were 4 down when we went to pull the flag. And right now, what I'm actually doing is forcing respawns, a split respawn, because until we get bar covered, you know, the guy was pulling the flag, but he wasn't in bar yet. So what that did was actually force a split spawn where only 2 guys spawned in pots and 2 spawned in bar. And luckily our flag carrier was able to get both kills, which was pretty awesome on his part. I think he got a knife in there, which is pretty rewarding. But that's a really, you have to be really careful when you're playing that spot. It's a really good spot to play if you have bar covered, but it's not a good place to play if they have 4 down and nobody's in bar. If your flag carrier is just pushing through bar to get the flag, because he will have a tough time coming back out of bar facing the respawns. So just a heads up on that play. You know, it is a good spawn trapping spot, but you have to be very careful. So as you can see, we are right now regrouping, trying to get map control again. We actually just pulled the flag because they had a couple guys down. Probably should have waited because they were able to kill our flag carrier really quickly. We should have waited till we were more set up. As you can see, we had 2 guys push back in the lobby area, and that's not really where you want to be when you're pulling the flag. You want your teammates to be pushed up towards the middle of the map at least, and they're still spawning back red. I was trying to hold that area down, but I got picked up. So I called those guys out, and as you can see, Ether there was trying to spray down the fountain. I had to call out to him, don't do that, I just spawned here. So as you can see, we're going to keep moving up towards this red side, at least 1 or 2 of us, to try to control those respawns. Right here's a good spot to look into bar. You can actually pick up people that are trying to head glitch in the bar area right there. And I did call the guy out to just throw that grenade over the top window. So, you know, effective callouts are key too. As you can see, I was able to pick that guy up really easily, really easy kill there because my teammate called him out and I was waiting for him and he wasn't expecting me. Right here, double stunned, tough play. Lots of hit markers. That's what I was talking about right there. You know, when you're double spun like that, I probably should have tried to go prone. I did get killed by 2 guys at the same time, but and, you know, this is an important part right here too. This respawn. I respawned back yellow. If you guys have watched the spawn shop, this was the first map that we did. If you want to go back and watch that, you can see that when you spawn back yellow like that, you are the enemy is in your spawn. They are in your lobby. They are on your flag, and you know, you need to call that out. And when I spawn there, immediately call out they're on our flag, stun the flag, get ready to get in a gunfight back there because that's where they're going to be at. So we've been holding red down pretty well, and our guy gets picked up there, so I'm going to move back and protect our flag. I get a stun there on fountain, and I'm just going to try to play it smart here and wait for the guy to try to push through lobby, which I do get another stun marker there. And as you can see, I'm going to play this slowly. I'm going to run a grenade off the wall there and get the kill. So as you can see, with the connection not in my favor, even though, you know, this was my host, I wanted to make sure that I was putting myself in positions to get good gunfights. And right there I got headshotted, but still very few bullets to take me out. And you know, a couple of their guys on their team were just eating the bullets for me. So you know, it's one of the complaints about Black Ops, and sometimes it's true, sometimes you know, it just feels that way because your shot's not on. As you can see, I'm using a red dot because the extended mag just weren't working for me because I was not able to aim in very well, not able to keep on targets very well, especially with you know, the guys being from where they're at, and the auto aim on some of the maps that I got was just pretty much hysterical. And this play I want to talk about. I had to watch this because as soon as he got the kill on the flag carrier, this is a great play. I expected him to come pushing for the flag. That's why I jumped around the corner expecting to be in a gunfight. And he waited on me and was able to take me out easily. And that's the kind of things that you want to do while you're protecting the flag. Most people, they get that flag guy, and they immediately just run to that flag like, oh, I'm going to get the return. I'm going to get the return. It's going to be so easy and nobody's going to stop me. But tunnel vision like that gets you killed and gets flags capped against your team. So when you get that flag down, you have to make a wise choice on whether to sit or if you're comfortable to go get it. You know, don't just rush out there, play it safe. Expect there to be at least one guy waiting with your flag carrier, because if the team's playing it well, there's going to be a guy trying to get those cutoffs for his team. So, you know, that guy makes a great play, and that was a really good play by him. So second half, I actually like this side a lot better. It's a little bit harder to pull the flag, but I feel like it's easier to control this side of the map. You know, with the yellow side being that one cutoff, it's pretty much the same as red side, but you know, you have this fountain area to set up on to cut off people chasing down your flag. And once again, you know, trying to set myself up into gunfights that I know I can win. And as you can see right there, I felt like I was on that guy for most of those bullets and get picked up by somebody else. But you know, that's the frustrations that you have to deal with sometimes. And you know, connection is, you know, it's a lot in this game. With the lack of stopping power, you know, that they had in the other games, it really makes a difference. I feel like, you know, especially since they're nerfing guns right now, I feel like that they probably should have just made some guns better instead of just making the FAMAS worse. And, you know, I have connection issues like that in Modern Warfare 2 also, just, you know, from playing around and having a red dot be on a guy and get nothing but hit markers. And I was freaking screaming about that because I was so unbelievably excited that I got that kill, because I was like, there's no way. I called out I was dead, you know, going top red, but I was able to actually pick up a kill there, and I do not know how that happened. But this was one of those games, you know, where you get into and you immediately feel like if you get shot first that you have no chance of winning a gunfight. And right here I only pulled with 2 guys up, and I want to talk about that. They had 2 guys down, we had 2 guys down, but the 2 guys that we had that they had up were on our flag. So, and right here I call this I need help, and he actually gets killed, but he makes a great play by being able to distract the guy chasing me down. But back to that play originally, we had 2 down, they had 2 down, but their 2 were on our flag. So in that case, I'm going to pull the flag, because I know that the last 2 guys are on our flag. If our guy doesn't get them, they're going to pull, and they're going to try, you know, we're going to be in a little bit of stalemate, or our guy's coming up off respawns and the guy that's still up is going to get those kills, and we're going to be able to cap a flag pretty easily, because we know the last 2 guys are just coming off respawn, and we know that we just put 2 more down, so they're out for 7.5 seconds. So, you know, you have to be aware of the kind of timing and situations that you get in when it's time to pull that flag. So, you know, that was a play that I thought worked out really well. I was able to get us another flag cap, and you know, it's just stuff like that you really need to be paying attention to when you're playing games like Capture the Flag. How many are down? Where are the 2 guys that are down, or 3 guys, or 1 guy, or whatever? Where he's at the time. And since I was in a good position to pull there, it was just turned out great, and it was an easy play. It could not have worked out. You know, we could have taken our guy down and they could have stopped the flag, but I felt confident with our 2 guys coming up off those respawns and being able to get that kill. And right here I get juked really bad. That guy, another great play by this guy. He pulls the flag, and you know, he knows I'm in bar and he just outweights me. I probably should have just tried to outweight him, but I didn't know which side he was going to come from, through the main door, through the back door at the bar. And as you can see, there's some more bullet munching, but it happens. You know, it's one of the frustrating things about this game sometimes. So just got to deal with it and put yourself in positions that where you can win gunfights. And see, like right there, I'm in a nice head glitch. I'm able to get a kill and got lucky there on that one. So, you know, just remember that when you're facing a bad connection, when you're in a game where it feels like, you know, they're munching on bullets pretty good, just be ready to, you know, play smarter, play a little bit more, play a little less aggressive, and play where, you know, you can set yourself up in position to win gunfights. So we're coming down to the end here. We only got about 30 seconds left. It's tied up 1-1, and we're all really pushing this side right here. I get a nice kill off Fountain right there, and I was not really happy about this. I did slow the guy down, but I got a couple hit markers right there, and he comes back through this way, get a couple more hit markers, and he gets the kill on me. I mean, that's the kind of stuff right there. I probably should have tried to maybe move towards the Fountain a little bit better, but I did enough to slow him down and to have him worried about another guy being there that he couldn't just chase down our flag, and we're able to get another flag cap. So 5 seconds left right now. We're all, we've got this side won. We won both sides, and we did a pretty good job, I felt. This was our pretty much our first team scrim, and that was a pretty good showing, I think. We played a couple of matches. We got domination on firing range. We played Summit Dom. I think they beat us on firing range Dom. Oh no, we beat them on firing range Dom both times and on Summit Dom. They whooped us on firing range flag, and I did really terrible on that. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. This was the last or my first video, so thanks for watching.